Just ahead on CTV News.
The wife of a Prince George's County man who was picked up and then deported by ICE to an El Salvador prison speaks about what her life has been like since her husband was taken away. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
And we see how the new round of tariffs affects local businesses.
It's chaotic. I mean, this is like a self-inflicted wound that we're going through right now economically.
Plus, one local university is helping to build the prison to HBCU pipeline. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for April 4th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, the family of a Prince George's County man is fighting for his return home after he was deported. CTV's Katara Jones is outside of CASA headquarters in Langley Park with more on the story.
Nightmares, confusion, and just utter sadness. That's how Jennifer describes these last several days since her husband, Kilmar Albrego Garcia, was taken away from her and her young family by ICE agents.
In a blink of an eye, our 3 children lost their father, and I lost the love of my life.
Jennifer Vasquez Serra is heartbroken after her husband Kilmar was picked up by ICE agents back on March 12th. The father of 3 was then deported to a prison in El Salvador. Today, county leaders, CASA members, and supporters have gathered in Langley Park to rally behind his wife.
Every day that goes by, I'm reminded of laughs that are now silenced in our home and in our hearts.
The Trump administration has now admitted that deporting Garcia was a mistake, calling it, quote, an administrative error. He has been living in Maryland for 14 years after escaping gun violence in El Salvador.
We can't look at this as if it's something normal. We have to look at it for what it is. A first step in what he promised to do.
Just this afternoon, a federal court judge has ordered the Trump administration to return Garcia back to the U.S. by 11:59 p.m. on Monday, April 7th. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Garcia was employed as a sheet metal worker. The group SMART, a union representing sheet metal, air, rail, and transportation workers, are also supporting Garcia's return home. And in other news, the stock market took another plunge just before opening today as traders are selling off assets after China retaliated against President Donald Trump's new reciprocal tariffs. China has imposed a 34% tariff on U.S. imports, causing the Dow to plunge more than 1,600 points. Now, with their tariffs set to take place on April 10th, economists say the odds of a recession have increased and could become more imminent if other countries follow in China's footsteps. And book it or boycott it. Canadian travelers are canceling U.S. vacations after President Trump's sweeping new tariffs took effect Thursday. From BWI Airport to Ottawa, frustrated Canadians say they feel targeted, and some are scrapping trips entirely. With more than 20 million visits to the U.S. each year, tourism takes a hit, and so could small businesses. Canada says retaliation is coming, and anger over the tariffs is already turning into a summer of canceled plans. And as the world adjusts to the Trump administration's global tariffs, local businesses brace for impact. Mariah Jalad brings us a story.
For more than 10 years, Denizens Brewery has been producing and serving their own beer. But thanks to tariffs imposed by the president on countries that produce things like this can, prices could be bubbling over.
One of the #1 ways to kill a business is to create chaos and uncertainty.
Denizens Brewery produces and distributes hundreds of thousands of cans of beer every year.
Beer has always been one of those commodities, honestly, that has been affordable for everyday people, right?
But that could all change very soon, with 25% tariffs on imported aluminum and 20% tariffs on other things like vital ingredients, all going into effect this week.
And at the end of the day, we're going to pay it, but the consumers are going to have to pay it.
If we do all this work to make this pricing so the consumer can afford the beer, and then all of a sudden 10%, 25%, 200% of these tariffs of whatever is going to make the actual cost of the beer to the consumer astronomical.
Small businesses like Denizens can't purchase at the level of large corporations, so they can't drive costs down. Businesses like these will be the most affected.
I mean, the worst case scenario is you're going to see a lot of small businesses closing. It's just, you can't, this is self-inflicted harm that is happening to our economy. It didn't have to go this way.
And avoiding the tariffs isn't as easy as just buying domestically.
We're using a company called BevSource that's providing us with ball cans it's a US company. However, aluminum can be sourced from different places globally.
Specialty malts right here, like Carahel, these are all coming from Bamberg, Germany. These are grains that we can't get in the United States.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders.
With the tariffs just being announced a few days ago, Denizens is still not certain to what degree they'll be impacted.
I am imploring the elected officials that are making these policies and even the non-elected officials that are making these policies to really think about the impact that they're doing on Main Street right now.
In Riverdale, Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
Mariah, thank you. And to learn more about Denizens, you can visit them at denizensbrewingco.com or visit them at their tap room in Riverdale Park. And a group of delegates and senators in charge of ironing out their differences on the state budget set out on their mission Thursday. They'll have to decide whether to adopt a new fee on tire purchases, among other differences in their budget plans. Leaders of the Democratic majorities in both chambers have mostly agreed on where to increase taxes and fees to close the multi-billion-dollar budget gap. One lawmaker said there were just minor details left to be ironed out and said it wouldn't be hard to wrap up in the next couple of days. Time is of the essence as the legislative session comes to a close this Monday. And Maryland could soon add a butterfly logo to driver's licenses to represent hidden disabilities like autism, thanks to Eric's ID law. Named after Eric Carpenter Grantham, the bill has passed both the House and Senate and is now headed to the governor. It aims to raise awareness for those with non-apparent disabilities. Meanwhile, a proposed ban on harmful chemicals in pesticides has stalled after environmental groups pulled their support over concerns about the bill's narrow definition. And Maryland lawmakers have passed the Expungement Reform Act of 2025, removing barriers to expunging records and giving thousands a chance to rebuild their lives. The new law ensures probation violations won't block people from stealing eligible records following a 2022 court ruling. Sheena Mead, CEO of the Clean Slate Initiative, praised the bill as a victory for Maryland's families and economy, calling for more progress to provide second chances and cut red tape for those seeking redemption. And a new federal deadline is putting states and schools on notice. The Department of Education is giving states just 10 days to certify that every K-12 school is complying with a federal ban on DEI programs or risk losing federal funding. The order follows a February warning letter threatening to pull funds from schools that use race-based policies in hiring, admissions, or training. The move is already facing lawsuits from national teachers unions who call it an illegal power grab. The department says it's simply enforcing civil rights laws, but critics warn it's a threat to public education. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, students from across the region are putting their robotic skills to the test. We'll have that story and more when we return.
I came to CTV knowing almost nothing about the production side of media, but I've learned so much since being here in 2 months.
When I came to CTV, I knew this is the industry that I wanted to be in. This gave me an opportunity to be able to see a whole bunch of different fields of of my whole big field that I wanted to do.
CTV, it's very involved in the community.
It's not just a TV station, it's a place where you can really learn.
I learned that I'm more capable than I think I am.
I feel like I'm able to put the skills I've been learning at school to test.
If I were to think of a word that sums up my experience at CTV, it would be amazing.
CTV is the perfect spot. There are a lot of people here who just want to see you succeed.
You're going to meet some great people, some lifelong friends, and some lifelong connections that can't do anything but benefit you.
If you want to find a place that will definitely 100% give you an opportunity and believe in you, then come to CTV, because CTV is here to help us.
You should think about the youth that are here. That's where people's lives start.
We are young people that we need the resources to grow and to learn more and better with our craft.
I really enjoy being here, and I wish I can do it again.
Welcome back. Bowie State is launching a new program to further expand education for people who are incarcerated. Today marks the beginning of the Prison to HBCU Pipeline program, aiming to expand the access for education to marginalized communities. Bowie State has partnered with Jessup Correctional Facility since 2022 and hopes to expand the program to HBCUs around the country.
So we know we spent the last 50 years doing mass incarceration. So we know that 70% of those incarcerated in the state of Maryland are people of color. We know that African Americans disproportionately make up the greater amount of inmates. So what we know is that the solution doesn't lie in the greater community. The solution must come from those that are directly impacted by it, and there are people of color, HBCUs. So we're uniquely qualified to address this issue. We often say during our courses that education is that moment that you become free. They may physically have your body, but your mind, your spirit will be free.
A 3-day conference is being held at Bowie State with 200 attendees currently registered for the event. And President Trump's recent executive order imposing new voting restrictions has drawn a lawsuit from 20 attorneys general, including Anthony Brown. The order requires voters to show proof of citizenship when they register to vote, and for jurisdictions to stop counting votes after Election Day. Attorney General Brown calls it the voter suppression executive order and says it's an outrageous and unconstitutional attack on the right to vote. The lawsuit asked the district court to block provisions of the order and declare them unconstitutional and void. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore's second supplemental budget proposes an additional $44 million in cuts to the University System of Maryland, bringing the total reduction to $155 million. This could result in job losses and limited funding for universities. The system has until May 1st to submit its plan for these cuts, and with a projected $3 billion budget deficit, Moore's budget also includes cuts to medical assistance and the Children's Health Insurance Program. The state's $67 billion spending plan is still under review as lawmakers work to finalize it before the session ends on April 7th. And a Temple Hills man is in custody in connection to a triple shooting in Suitland last Friday. 31-year-old Mark Carter is charged with 2 counts of first and second degree murder and several additional charges. The shooting happened at the 4000 block of Silver Hill Road at 10:30 p.m. Officers found 2 men, one inside a business and another inside a vehicle, both suffering from a gunshot wound and later pronounced dead. A third man was also shot, but his injuries were non-life-threatening. Investigation shows that Carter was known to one of the victims. He's now being held on a no-bond status. And hundreds of students gathered to compete in a thrilling challenge, each team striving to build the most innovative robot. The first Chesapeake District Championship, a regional robotics competition, brings together the top performing teams from Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. to compete for a chance to advance to the first championship, the International Robotics Competition. The competition even houses a Lego League for young competitors.
I fell in love immediately. I loved coding, I loved meeting people who had similar interests, and I just liked having the team effort of making something like a robot come to life.
I like robots, Legos, and I really like coding. Public speaking better, do core values better, and just have fun.
From this competition, 17 teams will go into Worlds, which is in Houston in 2 weeks, where there'll be 50,000 people competing. Meanwhile, the Purple Line is now one step closer to operation. Dynamic testing is set to take place along a mile-long test track along Veterans Highway. In the next year, light rail trains will be tested against real-world scenarios. Construction is about 75% complete with a target date for full operation set for December of 2027. And the Bowie Center for Performing Arts is celebrating 20 years of serving the community. Tomorrow, a gala will be held featuring city and county officials celebrating the impact that this center has had on county residents the past 2 decades.
The thing that I look back on the most is the generations of people that have been here. So I know for a fact that we've had, of course, we have people's kids that have come through here. A lot of their parents have also been on the stage. Some of their grandparents helped get this place built. So I'm really focused on the past 20 years of all the people from the city of Bowie and Prince George's County that have come through here, the families that have shared love and warmth and culture here in the facility. And then we also need to look forward to the next 20 years. You know, how can we keep that tradition alive?
And performers of all ages will be gracing the stage tomorrow. And the host for the evening will be comedic legend and Prince George's County native Joe Claire. And still to come on CTV News.
Hey guys, I have some fun things for you to do this weekend. Make sure you don't go anywhere. What's the Move is coming up next, right after this.
Hi, I'm Monica McNutt, host, basketball analyst, and reporter at ESPN and MSG Networks covering the New York Knicks in New York.
Hi, I'm Janine Samuels. I'm an evening news anchor right here in Richmond, Virginia at WTVR CBS 6, and I'm also the in-game host for the Washington Commanders.
My name is Samantha Akinduro, and I am a content producer at NBC4 in Washington, D.C.
And I gotta be honest, I don't know if those things or that little statue would have been available to me if not for the opportunity that Prince George's Community Television gave me.
My journalism career actually started at CTV News in Prince George's County.
I have been a part of CTV News, the CTV News family for many, many years. Goes way back to my senior year in high school and at Suitland High School.
The skills, the knowledge, and the teaching that I was able to absorb at CTV News was invaluable in me being able to eventually go from being a freelancer to a full-time news anchor.
As a Prince George's County native, that was an incredible training ground for me to cover the community that I grew up in and get valuable reps that would help power me to the next step of my career.
CTV is able to focus on those local stories, the ones that impact Prince George's County and Montgomery County. We're able to really dig deep into the community and the lives of everyone that watches CTV News.
CTV is home to me.
It truly breaks my heart to hear that it may have to close its doors.
This is a valuable resource, not just for the people that go through as journalists, but also a valuable resource for the community.
I am here to offer my support to continue funding and supporting Prince George's County Community Television, CTV News.
I cannot reiterate enough how powerful that space was to help a little black girl like me from Prince George's County to go on and pursue my dreams and achieve them, honestly. I really, really hope the decision to close those doors is reconsidered, because Prince George's Community Television is an absolute asset to the community and to the people that are able to come through those doors to hone their craft. Thank you.
New affordable housing units are coming to College Park. The new building will house 317 units and will be located along Route 1 between Cherokee and Delaware Streets. The first 78 units will open in May and the rest set to open in August. The units are adjusted to be an average of 60% of the area's median income compared to the other affordable housing options that are adjusted at 80%. The new apartments will include a courtyard, dog park, pool, and grilling stations. And the Hyattsville Police Department is offering free steering wheels locks to protect residents from car thieves. The locks are being offered from 2011 to 2021 Hyundai and Kia models with a key start. This is a part of the department's community safety initiative, and there is only a limited supply. So to get a free lock, email cat@hyattsville.org and schedule a pickup time. And Community Forklift is celebrating its 20th anniversary. The nonprofit resells donated housing materials and furnishings. To mark its anniversary, Community Forklift will be holding monthly events all year. This month, there will be a garden supply pop-up shop from April 11th to the 13th with deals on new and gently used gardening supplies. The event will also have a seed giveaway and plant swap on the 11th. But for more information on how to donate and other upcoming events, visit communityforklift.org. And April is here, and with warm weather comes springtime activities. If you're looking for something to get into this weekend, look no further. Brittany Aaliyah is here with another segment of What's the Move.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday to you all. So let me get you caught up to speed for your weekend ahead. All right, Mary J. Blige was just here last week, and if you missed her, I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. She's back. So she'll be here at the CFG Bank Arena tonight, and this is for her For My Fans tour. She's also bringing Neo and Mario, and I might have to go check that out tonight. So if you don't have your tickets yet, make sure you grab them now because the show starts at 7, and come on, it's Mary J. Blige. You already know it's about to be a turned-up show. So I was in DC last weekend for something totally different other than cherry blossoms, but I couldn't help but to run into the crowds. Like, there were so many people, and though Peak Bloom is officially over, the festivities don't stop, guys. The Cherry Blossom 5K run is on Saturday, and the 10-mile run is on Sunday. But one of the bigger events happening is the Petapalooza, which will be down at the Capitol Riverfront tomorrow. Now, this outdoor extravaganza will have live music and entertainment, art, a cashless beverage garden, ooh, that sounds pretty nice, and of course, a dazzling fireworks display to cap the night off. And if you don't know, World Autism Awareness Day just passed on the 2nd. And in honor of that day, Prince George's County is hosting a 5K Glow Walk and Run for Autism. It takes place tomorrow from 7:30 p.m. to 9, and contributions will go to the UFit Scholarship Fund. So make sure you come out and help raise awareness and acceptance for autism. And to wrap things up, this is for all of my comic book lovers. Awesome Con is back. Now, this is going to be at the Convention Center all weekend. And if you don't know what this is, let me just break it down for you. It's basically DC's Comic Con. Oh, it's huge. I think they said it brings roughly like 60,000 fans. And they have celebrity guests coming. You can take pictures and get autographs. It just celebrates your favorite stars from anything from comics, movies, TV shows, games, and even toys. So don't miss this 3-day celebration of geek culture. And that's what they call it. They call it that. So there you have it. Tune in next week for more on What's the Move, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful and joyous weekend ahead. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Brittany. And if you're attending the Cherry Blossom 10-mile race on Sunday, Metro will open its doors to rail riders 2 hours early, starting at 5 a.m. WMATA says it's making the change just for the race. All lines will run normally with trains at Metro stations in downtown Washington running every 4 minutes. And the race is expected to draw more than 17,000 runners and thousands of more riders who come to watch. And Simon Buggs is here with our Friday sports page.
Hey, sports fans, don't move because coming right up, some exciting highlights from the Duval and Flowers High School girls lacrosse teams, and a WNBA legend hangs up her jersey. Stay tuned.
The power of the knock is food. Your stew's delicious. I'm 88 years old, and I was with the Ice Capades when I was young. Now, being as old as I am, I lose balance. I don't like ending up this way, but what am I going to do? I got Meals on Wheels for the 5 years that I've been here. It's nice to know they come, and if you feel like talking, you can talk to them. I could talk for forever. They're totally a blessing.
Hey there, everybody. I've got a packed sports page for you today. Let's get right to it. We begin with some high school lacrosse highlights. The Duval High School girls lacrosse squad was in Springdale yesterday afternoon to try and pull out a win against Flowers. In the first quarter, the Lady Tigers got off to a great start as these goals from them had the team up 3-0 at one point. But just as it seemed like the game was getting away from them, a Lady Jaguar made this penalty shot, and Flowers went into the second quarter now down 3-1 on Duval. Now in the second quarter, I don't know if this was a pass or a shot, you guys decide, but all that matters is Flowers added another goal to their total, and now they were only down 3-2 on the Lady Tigers. Both teams had some nice plays defensively in the quarter, like the sweet stick save from Duval's goalie, and this Flowers player tracking her man down and checking the ball to get it out. And as the quarter came to a close, Duval scored again and went into halftime up 4-2. Flowers started the third quarter off strong as number 5 came through for her team again, scoring another goal to make the score 4-3 in favor of Duval. And not too long after, number 3 for the green and white tied the game at 4-4 after scoring this goal. The game was back and forth, but in the end, Flowers came out on top, winning the matchup 6-5. Meantime, it's the end of an era in D.C. as Washington Mystics legend Elena Del Don announced her retirement earlier today. This comes after the two-time MVP was away for the game for a year as she didn't play during the 2024 season. Del Don was traded to Washington in 2017 and racked up a ton of accomplishments, making the All-Star team in each of her first 3 seasons and winning her second MVP and a championship in the same year, 2019. The game is definitely going to miss you, Elena. Moving on to some news from the gridiron, the NFL draft begins in 3 weeks, guys, and Terps linebacker Donnell Brown is looking forward to hearing his name get called. And I caught up with the Upper Marlboro native recently, and he touched on what he can bring to an NFL team.
I'm an edge rusher. I'm an outside linebacker. I could do anything like on the football field as far as like just from those positional standpoints. And what it only takes me it takes everybody a little bit of time to get adjusted to the next level. And for me, I think I could translate because if you compare me to other guys in the league or other guys like in college, I'll say, I'm not gonna say I'm more athletic or I'm more this, that, and the third, but I'll say film speaks for itself.
And wrapping up sports, the Washington Nationals will return to action tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The game begins at 6:45. And the Baltimore Orioles will take the diamond tonight also. The Birds will match up against the Kansas City Royals at 7:40. And that is your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Hopefully these April showers bring in some May flowers. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and throughout the weekend. Tomorrow it's going to be 72 degrees. We have a 30% chance of rain. Sunday we have an 80 to 100% chance of rain. It'll be 73 degrees. Monday, the rain lightens back up. We'll have a high of 55 and a low of 36. And for our community calendar, tomorrow, District 8 Councilmember Edward Burrows is hosting a youth leadership conference. The conference will feature food, dynamic speakers, and free professional headshots. This event takes place from noon to 5 p.m. at Oxon Hill High School. For more information, contact 301-952-3860. And that's all the time we have for CTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a good night.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. The moment I chose hope was when I couldn't look myself in the mirror anymore. I did not recognize myself. Absolutely. So I'm so proud because I did not think I was gonna make it. And now, you know, I get to call my mom and say I love her. I get to teach my son how to say, Mama, I love you. Yeah. So for me, hope in this moment It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
Judy.